All right, if I did not have time to go over the answers in class for these 6 problems, let me quickly go over them now. So for the first one, combining like terms, 9x minus 6x together combines to be 3x. So this is 3x plus 15 as the final answer there. All right, the second one, I have here negative 2x and minus 10x. So a negative 2x minus 10 more. Sometimes it's helpful to maybe write this above or somewhere else so it can help you get this answer. You won't be able to put this in your calculator like with the x's. You have to understand what math problem you would have to do either in your head or with the help of a calculator. Negative 2 minus 10 is negative 12. So negative 2x minus 10 more is going to be negative 12x. And then this is plus 12. That's the final answer that those cannot be simplified. All right, moving on, we have 4 terms right now, and we're going to simplify this actually down to 2 terms. First, we're going to combine the variables. 9z minus 4z. Together, that combines to be a 5z. Now, the reason why I'm subtracting is because to the left of the 4z is a minus sign or a negative sign, and that will make it a negative number, so that's why we subtract 9 and negative 4 to get 5z. And then I can combine a negative 5 plus 2. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3, so this final answer is 5z minus 3 like that. All right, letter D. Step 1, I would have to use the distributive property. I'm going to multiply 4 times 2d, 4 times this negative 3 here, and I'll get 5 plus 4 times 2d is 8d, and then minus 12. After I do the distributive property, I will now combine like terms. I have a 5 and a negative 12 to combine together. 5 and negative 12 combined together is a negative 7. So this final answer would be 8d minus 7, or negative 7 plus 8d. Either way is fine. Letter E, multiplying everything by negative 2, this becomes negative 2y plus 8, and then plus the 3y on the outside. Now it's time to combine like terms. I can combine a negative 2y with a positive 3y. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1, so this will be 1y plus 8 as the final answer. And then the last one, distributing, is the first step. 2 times 5x is 10x, and then this will be 2 times 3 is 6, this will be 10x minus 6 minus 3x. And I'm going to combine the like terms, 10x with a negative 3x, that will be 7x, and then minus 6 as our final answer. So those are the 6 answers to the questions from yesterday. Moving on to our lesson for today, let's get started with solving simple equations. So just a recap, an equation is a statement that sets 2 expressions equal to each other. And the solution to an equation is a value that makes the equation true. So an example of an equation would be here, x minus 3 equals negative 5. To solve something like this, you use inverse operations to solve for the missing variable. Inverse operations are 2 operations that undo each other, just like addition undoes subtraction and multiplication undoes division. You perform the same inverse operation on both sides of the equation, and they are still considered equivalent. So here's the type of work I like to see for these types of problems. It's really important that you justify each step. That means show your work, and then also check your answer. I'll show you that too. So here's the first thing I like to do. I'm just going to rewrite this so it's a little bit bigger. X minus 3 equals negative 5. I like to circle the variable I'm solving for, and I also like to draw a line like this through the equal sign. Is it mandatory? No. Is it helpful for some of you? Probably. Is it maybe not helpful for some of you? Possibly. So this is what's helpful for me to keep all of my work in order and so that everything is equal, makes sense, and is clear. So I'm solving for x here. The first thing I need to do when I'm solving equations is actually the opposite of the order of operations. Here's the order of operations. Usually when solving an order of operations problem with all numbers, no variables, we would start at the top and work our way down. But for solving equations, we actually start at the bottom and work our way up. So when we're undoing an equation, we actually start with addition and subtraction first. Because this equation has subtraction, I'm going to cancel that out first. The opposite of subtraction is addition. So I'm going to add this number to both sides, plus 3, to cancel these out. Here's the type of work I like to show. I like to draw this line here, this horizontal line, to show what I'm doing. And then I get x on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, negative 5 plus 3 is a negative 2. So that is my final answer. To check your answer to make sure it's true and to make sure it's a solution, you can replace it in for x and make sure it works. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. So after I check my work, I can verify that that is true, and then I can move on to the next problem. The next problem is 0.9 equals y plus 2.8. I'm going to circle my variable because that's helpful for me. I like to draw a line because it's helpful for me to see what's going on here. I'm going to subtract both sides by 2.8. All right. When I do that, 0.9 minus 2.8, I get negative 1.9 is equal to y. And again, you can use your calculator to check to make sure that negative 1.9 plus 2.8 is equal to 0.9. So negative 1.9 plus 2.8 does equal 0.9, so that works. And then fractions, dreaded fractions. Here we are, we have n plus 2/5 equals 3/5. I'm going to circle my variable, draw my line, and I realize I have to undo plus 2/5. The opposite of adding 2/5 is subtracting 2/5. So I'm going to subtract 2/5 from both sides. And 3/5 minus 2/5 is 1/5, so the answer is 1/5. All right, 4, 5, and 6 are a little bit different because we have multiplication and division. So if I scroll down, number 4, to solve this, I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. Since this is dividing by 5, to undo division, I multiply by 5. And I'm left with negative n is equal to negative 15. We can never have a negative, so to undo this, I actually have to divide this by a negative 1, and I'm going to get n is equal to positive 15 as that answer. And then the last one is multiplication. To undo multiplication, I divide both sides by 1.3. And 5.2 divided by 1.3 is 4. So I get z is equal to 4. Why don't you guys try number 6 on your own, and then we'll complete more problems together.